I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody know the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep forking it out the root. Make country flowers in there, fork it up. Make country produce in there, fork it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of them politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who talking up me country. Riding on me donkey, transportation bliss. Me fireside bubbling a goodie. I hear rioting in the gas crisis. Surrounded by wild animals. What a vicious pack. But none of them does launch an attack. None of them poison us like Imbert and Sat. The hunt always on, I could say that much. And true, can switch it off like crime watch. My mission now is to put a stop to whosoever fucking me country up. Some say a man named Eric, George, Robbie and Patrick. Some say Capildeo, Paris, Kamla Basteo. Old man Bedu said this ain't nothing new. They fucking up long before 1962. If Butler was around, he might have tell we directly who fucking up me country.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rebuttal. As per normal, I am extremely pleased that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me this evening. I have to tell you, this is one of those evenings when I'm usually stuck in front of the television screen because you know I love politics, and right now we have a huge political situation ongoing in the United States as we speak. I believe that we are going to see the end of the nonsensical reign of the would-be king called Donald Trump. It takes a miracle for Donald Trump to win this election. And I'm hoping that I don't see a miracle when we finish this show and I go back to the television to continue pursuing the analysis of these elections. Right now, it looks very much like Biden is ahead. It looks very much like Biden will win. But Trump has already taken the matter to court. He has not figured out that something has gone wrong, yet he gone to the court. And so it is clear that what he wants to do is to put the justices to the test. Those that he named to the court, he wants to put them to the test because he wants them to be now in the uncomfortable position to either say yes to him or no. And you know Trump, if they say no, is a load abusing them again, for the period of time that he has left in the Oval Office is a lot of cussing, is a lot of regretting that he named these people to the court, because he's a transactional guy. He expects when he does something for you that you're supposed to do something for him. Similarly, if it turns out that he loses the black vote, he's going to have regret, because remember, he has always been saying that he has done more for Negroes or black people in America than any other president, which is a farce, which makes no sense. But he would have a fit if it turns out that black people were the reasons why he loses these elections. And so I'm not going to be long this evening, because I got to get back to the show. So all of you who have tuned in this evening, if you are from St. Kitts and Nevis and listening in from St. Kitts and Nevis, I want to say good night. If you are in the St. Kitts and Nevis diaspora, wherever you are in the world, I want to express to you my heartfelt welcome to the show as usual this evening. I'm pleased that you have tuned in, and I have just a couple of things for us to talk about. But let me talk a little bit more about this U.S. Election issue. The United States has never seen such a crook in power. They have never seen a guy who has disrupted normal operations in the United States, and not in a good way. Yet, when you look at it, the man could still win the election. When you look at it, the people voted for him. And that caused me to reflect on the last election we had in St. Kitts. I honestly don't understand. How is it we could know that an individual is flawed, gravely flawed? How an individual is good for nothing? How an individual is amoral, is unethical, lacks integrity, yet you go out and you vote for him? That is what happened in St. Kitts, because we knew that we had two candidates in the elections who were liable for misappropriating their clients' funds. That is jail work. In any other country, they would have gone jail. Yet, you went out and you voted for them two guys. You voted for the party to which they belong. And you voted for them in numbers which were greater than the previous election, when you thought they were at least partly decent. But now you know for a fact that they're crooks. You know for a fact that they ain't good for nothing. Yet you voted for them. And that has nothing to do with the fact that nowadays you wish you hadn't. Because you recognize nowadays that times are hard. Times are really hard in St. Kitts for those of you who voted for this government. And the sad thing is, this government has not shown you any idea about how it plans to take care of you. Think about it. You voted for a government that had absolutely no plan, not one scintilla of an idea as to how they were going to navigate this difficult period in St. Kitts and Nevis. They knew that the economy was bleeding. They knew that the economy was contracting. Yet they did nothing. They come up with a stimulus package that was only to bamboozle you. And heaven knows you were bamboozled. They catch you. And even though people like me try to show you that what they're telling you don't make not a lick of sense, you abuse me. You say me want this and me want that. Hey, what me want? I keep telling you, me no want nothing. Me no ask none of them for nothing. You understand? By now, I know where me be. I in the United States. I am a citizen of the United States. I was in the United States Army. They got things for me. Me no want nothing. You understand? And so I chose to listen to these guys who presented not one plan about how they were going to fix the economy, how they were going to look after you. Not a plan. And then, to make it worse, a lot of you go on and let them pay you for your votes. So you were bought. And since you were bought, you can't chat. You can't say a thing because they pay you for your vote. It's illegal. You engage in an illegal transaction, but you can't say nothing because you were bought. That is the sad situation that we find ourselves in St. Kitts right now. Because Baba bite, people hungry, people ain't got. You understand? Baba bite. And so the question is, how are you going to deal going forward? Because you see what's going to happen. Because now there is no integrity in our electoral system. It's only going to get worse. Let me tell you something. Next election, and every election after that, gonna come down to people buying and selling votes. What happened in the last election normalized that. And so you would be a fool if now that is the normal modus operandi. You would be a fool if in the next election you ain't come with a chunk of money to buy votes. And look at what's going to happen. The vote's going to go, the money going to go to the highest bidder. Because the electorate now knows that you are willing to pay. They know now that you are capable of paying. And so they're going to play one against the other. What's going to happen is a voter is going to tell you plain to your face, boy, the $5,000 you're giving me, the next side offer me 10,000. You got to come again. Even if it's not true. That is the nature of our upcoming elections in St. Kitts. And so as we see the United States having their democracy threatened, and as we see their system buckle, you see one of the things that Trump did, Trump tests the limits of every and anything he's involved with, That is what he's a master of. He tests the limit of every system, every institution, every norm. But I believe that because there is a documented system, because the United States democracy is not just an unwritten institution, because there are systems that are documented to ensure that the election and democracy are preserved, United States would be okay. Because over time, they are going to make improvements to their system. I can't say the same thing about us in St. Kitts. You understand? Because the sitting government is always going to have the upper hand with money. The sitting government could, if it wants to, and as this particular government sitting in Parliament in Parliament right now, it can use public funds in creative ways to make sure that they win an election, make sure that they could pay for election. Now, I was gravely disappointed when Labour screwed up the petitions. I'm beginning to wonder if it's could screw it up, or somebody. I don't want to say it, but something was fishy, Something was fishy. I don't know why they end up withdrawing the petition. I don't want to speak loud about what I think. But let me tell you something. Labour, if they wanted to, could have presented a strong case for bribery and all that kind of stuff. Could have. But there are a lot of things, couple of things when I look back now, Labour did or did not do that, just don't sit too well with me. I don't think Labour did all it could to give itself the best chance to do its best in the last election. And one of the things that they didn't do is they didn't listen to me and challenge the boundaries. Because in their minds, they had something up their sleeve. And in retrospect, I see what they had up their sleeve, and they got burned. They got burned. Because let me tell you something. Look at it. If you had challenged the election, at the very least, you were going to win 3 seats in St. Kitts. At the very least, you were going to win 3. You understand? But I know what you all had up your sleeve. And like I say, it backfired. And so, just like the electoral system and just like democracy is challenged in the US, so too it is challenged in St. Kitts and Nevis. And as I look on and I see the people powerless, you see, because a lot of you kind of shame, Because you got paid, you are not willing to speak up and speak out. And so you kind of know who didn't get paid. Those who are willing to speak up and speak out, they ain't get no money. And those of you who cower into a corner and complain in secret and suffer silently, as it turns out, a lot of you got paid. And now you can't say a damn thing about your government, no matter how they do you. You understand? And so, on that note, I'm going to take a break. And then when I come back, I'm going to discuss a couple more issues with you all. All right? So let's take a break.
I love being in the latest style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamond and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Sante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not, in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment would spread the word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% flat. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrances. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume, just smell just right, you'll feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Deon Street.
Ready or not, hear my clothes, can't hide. Gonna find you and make you want me.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis. Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
I'm local.
Check me area code, direct me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
To international.
Ay, I go shopping, want it then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
And have you informed with a range of topics.
So on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
Ready or not, hear my clothes.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep forking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, fork it up. Make country produce in it, fork it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of them politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who talking up me country.
Welcome back to the Rebuttal. I'm Douglas Wattley, your host. Now, last night I got a call late into the night from a confidant that said to me that Justice Ventos, Eddie Ventos, has left the Federation. He said it was quite unceremonious because Justice Ventos handed in the keys and left the Federation on an RSS airplane. There was no formality. There was no formal goodbyes. He just up and left. And I don't think there is any one of us that can blame him. He has been subjected to some unfair attention from this government and some of its supporters. But you see, part of it is envy, grudgery, jealousy, you know. Because Eddie Ventos, Justice Eddie Ventos, is a brilliant man, you know. He's both an academic and a practitioner. And you know, these boys here, they can't handle him. They can't think at his level. And they can't deal with the justice that he dispenses. Because he sees what they can't see. And so they want to bring him down a peg or two. Fellas like the Attorney General, I mean, come on, man. Justice Eddie Ventos was a professor of law at the University of the West Indies in Barbados, right? He was at age 35 when he became a professor. He was the youngest person in the history of the University of the West Indies to be promoted to a personal professorship. That's quite some accolade. But then he came to St. Kitts. And these boys here didn't like his judgment. And so it appears that they set out to frustrate him so that even if he had longer to stay, that he would want to leave. And so he left. But you see, it caused me concern. Why did he leave? Really? Now I understand that he was frustrated because the government didn't want him to become engaged in any meaningful cases, especially if it had anything to do with politics. And a guy of his caliber is going to want to be involved in cases that either create law or interpret the law so that it creates good precedents for those in the practice of law. This is a guy who I said is a professor. He is an author. And so he has to be exposed to some types of cases that challenges him. But these boys here had different ideas. They didn't want him involved in certain cases. And there are times when you could ask a Jewess to recuse his or herself from a case. But it was petty in St. Kitts. It was jealousy, it was envy. And now you have to ask yourself this question. Did this have anything to do with the case with Lindsay and Jonell? Because I am yet to hear that the tribunal that he required, I am yet to hear that that tribunal has sat. It seems as if there is some force and some power at work to let these boys off easy. And so we are not hearing anything about the disciplinary tribunal that's supposed to hear. Now you don't intervene and make sure that the case was not investigated criminally. Now it looks like you're going to intervene to make sure that these guys are not punished civilly. And you tell me that that makes sense. You are trying to create different tiers of justice in the country. One for the ordinary man and one for those who would go into politics. And that can't be right. And so I want to know, what is the Bar Association's take on this. Why isn't there a disciplinary tribunal as was required by Justice Vento? The Bar Association has to follow up on that to make sure that the members of its ranks are kept in line. And if discipline has to be dispensed, the Bar Association has to make sure that it is dispensed, or else you lack credibility thereafter. Nobody gonna watch you with any sense of reverence. And then there is the issue of the threats against the justice. Again, silenced by the Bar Association. All like now, so the Bar Association has to keep this on the fire. The Bar Association has to make sure that any and all investigation continue. You can't just threaten a judge in open like that and get away with it. And I don't have any notion that the government and its investigative entities have even pursued that issue. And so it means, therefore, that anybody can threaten anybody. If you could use a fake profile on Facebook. And so how are you going to defend going after somebody if they threaten the Prime Minister? How are you going to do it? What are you going to do if they threaten the Attorney General? How all of a sudden you would want to investigate that, but you wouldn't want to investigate a threat against the senior most justice in the country? You see, where things start and where they don't end, you know. And I am saying, this Bar Association appears to me that it is silent on the matter having to do with the disciplinary tribunal and on the matter having to do with the investigation of threats against the justice. And if that is the case, shame on you. Shame on you. Are you trying to tell me that all you're about is making a little money? Nobody at all wants to ruffle some feathers. Everybody wants to follow blindly behind a group of people who ain't got the interests of this country at heart. We have already established that the whole bunch of them corrupt, thief, underhanded. But you shouldn't stoop so low as to be silent on these types of matters. And I am wondering now, if somebody levied additional threats at the justice, did somebody else threaten the justice? Did the justice have reason to believe that somebody was getting ready to make good on the threat against him? Them are questions I have to ask. If the government ain't doing nothing to protect the justice, then I could understand why he got to go. Now he ain't telling me nothing, but I'm reading from a distance. This government is a shitty government. And I can't believe that one day karma ain't gonna have its way with members of this government. Y'all are some shitty people. And some of the things you wish on others gonna befall you. You all treated the justice unfairly. There should have been an investigation into the threats against the justice. There should have. You can't tell me any reason why that shouldn't have happened. There should have been an investigation into Lindsay and Jonell from a criminal standpoint. And you all stopped all that. And then the poor man do something. And you want to kill them. Well, I want to stop there before I hyperventilate. So let's pause, and when we come back, we chit-chat a little bit more.
I love being in the latest style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamonds and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Sante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment with Spread the Word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% flat. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrances. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume to smell just right, you'll feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Deon Street.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. I'm gonna find you and make you want me.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis. Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
From local
Check me area code, me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
to international.
Ay, I go shopping, want it then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
and have you informed with a range of topics.
So on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
Ready or not, you're my girl.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep fucking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, pop it up. Make country producing it, pop it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of the politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who talking up me country.
Welcome back to the Rebuttal. I'm Douglas Wattley, your host. So let us chit-chat about this little thing here. I had been speaking for a couple of months now on the issue of the severance. And I keep telling you that the government is trying to find ways to cheat you. The leader of this government, that's what he does. That's what he knows. All right? And they were trying to find a way to cheat you. Now, recently, you hear them saying that there is no money in the severance fund. Now, they can't blame Dr. Douglas because Dr. Douglas has not been in power since 2015. And you have already done one term and nearly 6 months. And so you had 1 term and 6 months to get the severance fund where it's supposed to be. Now, your argument is that enough money is not going into the fund. Well, you got to rectify that. And I don't buy the argument that there is no money in the fund. Except you're going to argue that you, the government, don't have any money. Because for as long as you have money, and for as long as we have heard you say you got surplus after surplus, some of that money has to find its way into the severance fund. And so now, what are we hearing? People are getting severance, but at a slow rate. Out of more than 2,000 persons who would have requested severance, I think that you are somewhere in the region of looking out for up to 600 persons. So that's slow. But now, to add insult to injury, you are paying the people partial severance as if you don't have any money. And I am saying, it can't be that you don't have any money. Because Douglas left you $637 million in bank accounts. It can't be that you don't use up that. And so now you are stealing from people because, you see, pay attention. The government owes you severance. Let's just say that you were supposed to get $100,000 in severance pay. The government owes you severance. The government is supposed to pay you $100,000 when it becomes due. And it becomes due when they approve and cut your application and cut a check. Why should you be forced to lend the government money? Because that's what is happening, If the government is not paying you when it's supposed to pay you, if governments insist that you take installments over, 5-6 months, the government is, in effect, borrowing money from you. Why should government do that when government has money? When government raises money through tax every day? Why should the government borrow from you? And government is borrowing from you interest-free. Think about it. If you were to get $100,000 in your hand today, and you go to Finco, and you say, Finco, hold that for me. Set up a fixed deposit for me. You know your money safe. But guess what? If Finco decide to pay you 4% per annum on that, that is about $4,000 a year. And so if the government is insisting that you lend it money, you lend it that $100,000 for 6 months, it means you have to forego interest that you should have been making, that you could have been making. And so if you were going to make $4,000 a year, in 6 months, you were supposed to be making about $2,000. Government is robbing you of that $2,000. You are an enlightened people, you know. And I am telling you, I will argue that it is illegal for the government to pay you in installments without your permission. It cannot be legal. It's an entitlement. It ain't like the government has options. It's an entitlement. It's your money. And once it's approved, it's supposed to be yours. Unless you expressly tell the government they could give you installments. And you see, with all these lawyers around, you know, if I were a lawyer, them are things I got to take up because there has to be somewhere to stop the government from doing what it's doing. I would have had to ask the court to intervene on this matter and take out an injunction against the government. Give me my money, let me take my money and use my money how I want to use it. If I want to spend it, I spend it. But you cannot deny me the opportunity to invest my money and make passive income from my investment. $2,000 ain't a little bit of money, you know. And look at you. You just give up the possibility that you could make some interest. You just give that up. This government is wrong. It's out of place. The money is yours. The government has the money. The government has no need to borrow the money from you. Why doesn't the government go and borrow money so that it could run the affairs of the country from banks and other institutions? Why you got to borrow from you? And that is what is happening. And so I am here to tell you that legally you are entitled to your severance. And if you want to give the government permission to pay in installments, hey, be my guest. But I know how they're going to deal with you. You know what they're going to say? Well, if you ain't taking installments, right? If you ain't taking installments, guess what they're going to try to tell you? They're going to try to tell you, well, you got to wait. They're going to try to punish you. Them are the nonsense that we deal with around here. Them are the nonsense we got to deal with around here. That is not something that I believe is good or proper. And so I'm glad that you're getting your severance, you know. But I got to tell you, I'm disappointed that you can't get all your money when you're supposed to get your money. That is a sad situation we find ourselves. Here's a government who keep boasting how much surplus he creates. And he can't use that surplus to pay you your severance and give you all your severance when you're supposed to get it. So that if you so desire, you can invest it and earn passive income on that severance investment. But they're going to tell you that they don't pay you for your vote, so you need to shut up. On that note, I'll take a break.
I love being in the latest style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamonds and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Sante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment with Spread the Word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% flat. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrances. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume to smell just right, you'll feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Deon Street.
Ready or not, hear my clothes, can't hide. Gonna find you and make you want me.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis. Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
I'm local.
Check me area code, me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
To international,
Ay, I go shopping, want it then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
And have you informed with a range of topics.
tell me nothing.
so on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
Tell me nothing.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
Ready or not, hear my clothes.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. They're delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One is you I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep fucking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, fuck it up. Make country produce in it, fuck it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of the politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who fucking up me country.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Rebuttal. You're just in time for me to close out this evening. It was fun again. I look forward to doing this again next week. But before I go, somebody called me and he said, "Hey, Dougie, see all that money that the big belly fella take from the campaign, The money that you always talk about. He said, well, they move it, Where they had it, they move it. Because one of the family members just keep taking it up and going up and down the place. One of the family members, anytime you see he go buy anything, is one load of US dollars and one load of money he got. So they say, hey, they move the money. I say, where the money gone? He said, they move the money down by the monkey people them. Now ask me nothing else. That's all I hear. And what I hear, I tell you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you again next week. You all take care now.
Tendencies, there rises in criminal activity. There rises in criminal activity. Helicopter over the area. What are you calling for? Why is it as soon as the crime done, the police come? What are you calling for? You see, nobody concentrates on preventative measures. Nobody gives a damn about the very roots of the problem. What are you calling for? For what are you tonight? Yes, man. Hey! Hey! You educate me in school. You inflicted that golden rule. You made sure I didn't become a fool. You gave me ideas. You gave me hope. You gave me reasons to regard you as a role model. I followed your leadership. I followed your example. But now the both of us end up in trouble. Helicopter over the entire area. What are you calling for? Why is it as soon as the explosion, the police hurry come? What are you calling for? Nobody concentrates on the preventative measures. Nobody gives a damn about the very root of the problem. What all you in here calling for? For all you are born. I wouldn't fall. Oh! don't want to be critical without offering a couple of solutions. Start anti-drug classes, build rehabilitation centers, and cable ought to be carefully monitored. And the police should manifest a true symbol of honest impartiality. And the same police ought to share more information with the press and the rest of the community. For the final analysis is we, the same people, they're coming for help with the investigative inquiry. Are you balling for what? Are you upon? Thank you.
We want it back right. Don't go away. One more time. Lord, Lord.
All right. Thank you. Hey! You educate me in school. You inflicted that golden rule. You made sure the black did not become a fool. I followed your leadership. I followed your example. I made sure I regarded you as a role model. You gave me hope. You gave ideas. You also gave me reasons to regard you as a role model. And now, today, look, they know both of us end up in trouble. Scotland Yard, all over Sadler's area. Bradshaw, what? You ballin' far. Why is it as soon as the crime done, them police hurry come? What are you ballin' for? You see, nobody concentrates on preventative measures. Nobody gives a damn about the roots of the problem.